It's your boy Slime. Welcome back to another video.
It's your boy Slime
It's
coming
going to
at
be
you
a
with another
defense of the
video. And in
Amazing
today's video, we got a story time. I know I haven't been doing a lot of story times lately, but I got a banger for you this time. This is about the time there was a fire at the hospital.
A very bad
so a little bit of context for this story. I've struggled with mental health probably my whole life. I say my whole life, but probably since I was about 10 to 13, I started struggling with it. And I had gotten Baker acted. For those of you who don't know what a Baker act is, it's basically a crazy person
sunglasses. His web shoes are made out of watches.
know I might get some flack in the comments,
and it's a much darker
being a mental retard or whatever the fuck. But
it's a very dark themed movie. Like I would almost compare it to a Batman movie. It's not
take
like
for granted,
the happy-go-lucky,
or that people take for granted. It's not talked about a lot. So I am coming at you with this video, and this is actually kind of a funny one, despite like the context of being the mental hospital and stuff. There was a fire at the mental hospital. I say fire, but that's mostly a clickbait thumbnail.
Even like
there was
the way he starts
somewhat
off
fire incident.
Spider-Man,
the fire alarm
he's
started
going after
off,
vengeance for his Uncle Ben.
It was just a normal day.
Like he got
any
the
day
lesson and learned it and wants to do what's right.
You get up, you do your shit,
you going after revenge,
go eat breakfast, come back, go to group,
going out to do
all that kind of stuff. Now some psych wards are better than other psych wards. Like
the theme of the movie,
some places have more activities to do, more groups. I've been to some places where they don't even have groups and you just kind of sit and watch TV all day. Those places are honestly the worst. But this place did have a bunch of groups and stuff to do. So we went throughout the day. We made it past lunch, and like right around after lunchtime. And lunchtime's at 11, so this was probably like around 12 o'clock, right? So 12 o'clock, we had just gotten done eating lunch and had just gotten back to like the little area, the TV room. And we're just sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden the fire alarms start going off, right? And the fire alarms start going off, and at first we're like, oh, this is a drill or something, right? And it gets longer and longer, and we're like asking the staff, we're like, yo, is there a fire? Like, what's going on? Because we're just kind of sitting here. And everyone starts, like, it starts off fine. Everyone's like just chilling at first. And then eventually everyone starts going like crazy, right?
It was a very good emotional beat.
You gotta think, this is a room full of a bunch of people.
There's also
with a bunch of different issues,
which I honestly love this.
And there's a fucking alarm blaring.
I know Marissa Tomei is awesome.
At first, what we thought were gonna be maybe 20 minutes.
This version of Aunt May is
fucking
awesome.
2 hours passed, and the alarm's still going off.
All the characters are like,
and by this point, people are going crazy. No one knows what's going on. There's people banging their heads against the wall. There's a couple people that are just banging their heads against the wall, right? And then there's a couple people that are like, we should start a regime. And I'm not even kidding when I say they said we should start a regime. Like, they're like, this is the time we can fight back and break out of here. And she's like, I'm dead ass. This is what like some people were saying. And then it got to the point where there was this smell. Like, it smelled like gas, but it was really just dirty water. Because what had ended up happening was this person in a different unit had pulled the fire, the water, the sprinkler down,
all the characters, all the
started flooding the whole unit. So this other unit, which was next to us, was the adult unit.
Some of the best
I'm on the kids unit because I was a kid at the time.
I thought Kurt Connors
the adult unit starts flooding, and the units are right next to each other. So the flooding starts coming into our unit, and the water's like black, moldy water. Like the water is really interesting. Like we ended up seeing it a little bit later. It was black water all over the floor, and that's what the smell was. It wasn't gas. It wasn't anything. But these patients were freaking out, thinking it was gas, thinking that we were getting poisoned, but like a bunch of different wild shit was like being said at this point, and none of them were right. But it got to the point where all these like kids were going crazy, and like some were banging their heads against the wall, others started running up and down the halls. I kid you not, like just running up and down the halls, punching walls. One kid tried to break through the door. It was wild, and I'm over here just sitting here like, what the fuck? Because the smell is one thing, and then on top of that, it's the sirens, and then on top of that, all the kids are going crazy.
It was a sad moment.
During all this happening, the staff is like, there's no staff. There's like one staff with us, because the rest of the staff are like running around trying to like clean the flood, stop it from getting too much water damage.
I don't know if that's
so all the other staff is like preoccupied, and this one poor staff is just sitting there trying to deal with all of us kids.
I like this.
She handed us snacks.
as much.
She started cleaning the day room, like started just like she just tried to keep us busy and entertained the best she could until she had her own fucking panic attack because none of the kids were behaving and it was basically just her. So she was having her own little panic attack, and I don't really blame her. Like she was doing the best she could with what she was given, and she legit was. She was trying her hardest, and it got to the point where she was crying. Right,
it worked. It
while the other kids were crying and having their whole episode, she ended up crying, having her own little panic attack, and it was pretty bad. Like it wasn't her fault. It wasn't really anyone's fault. But it was something. And by the end of it, the fire alarms eventually went off. Probably like another 2 hours later. Like this was going on for 4 hours. So it was insane because for some reason the firefighters wouldn't show up to turn the alarms off, even though it wasn't a fire. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. If you like the video. If you don't like it, hit the dislike. I'm not gonna be offended. I do love the feedback, and let me know if you guys have any stories similar to this, or just any funny stories down in the comments. And it's been good talking. It's your boy Slime, and I'll talk at you guys later.